The best of the morning X. 99X.
This is wild. You may have heard these over the last few days.
He was a playboy.
The Lyndon Johnson Library in Dallas has released private phone recordings that LBJ made.
The LBJ Library is in Austin.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, then in Austin.
It's on the campus at UT.
I thought it was Dallas. The tapes were mailed to me from a Dallas
I only know
post
that
office.
because I parked there for 3 years.
Oh, by the way,
That's the only reason. I don't know any history. Sorry. Don't mean to scare you.
Yeah. In light of what we've been talking about the schools and how much, we might want to point out to some of our younger listeners, LBJ was Lyndon Baines Johnson. He was one of the presidents of the United States, not the band.
It was Lyndon Barnes Johnson.
Right.
He became president after Kennedy died.
That's right.
He was Kennedy's vice president.
And he had a Woody all the time.
Now, you're from Texas. You say that was his legacy?
The legacy, yeah, roams large in Austin. That even at the Driscoll Hotel, which is on 6th Street, if you've been to Austin before, he was apparently always there banging somebody.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He was a big playboy.
And his
he was
wife
a big
was
man.
Lady Bird Johnson.
Lady Bird was oblivious to all of it.
Well,
She's still alive in Austin.
I'll tell you what, these tapes, I heard these and was stymied. Now, these are
Why would
private,
they release them?
I don't know. Well, in the little package, and you can buy these tapes, by the way. There's an LBJ Library website, and they tell you how to order these tapes. They've released dozens and dozens, and some of the tapes are very cool. They're private phone conversations.
Why would the LBJ Library release stuff like that?
They say that these tapes are relevant because they help illustrate some of the transition between the Kennedy administration and the Johnson administration. Now, we also should know, we'll listen to these in a little bit, but one of the things you want to know is there was no love lost between LBJ and the Kennedys.
Absolutely not.
The Kennedys treated LBJ like crap, except for apparently Jackie. Jackie was like the only Kennedy who treated LBJ with any respect. So when John F. Kennedy was killed, you'll hear these tapes. He is completely, it's almost creepy how flirtatious sounding he is with her.
He was a womanizer almost.
And what's amazing,
he was all over the place.
These are conversations that were made not more than 2 weeks after the assassination.
Why were they taped?
He taped everything. A lot of presidents, Nixon used to tape all his phone conversations.
Must be
all
just
his
stockpiles of tapes.
Oh, hundreds and hundreds. Some of these are really fascinating. And how many times have you seen the president on the telephone, and you always wonder, wow, I wonder what he's talking about, and who's he talking to? And these are like private conversations, some he had with congressmen, some with his press secretary.
Is the tape just rolling all the time when he picks up the phone?
That's exactly what it was. There are tapes in here where he's talking to...
I guess Clinton's has a pause button on his.
Yeah, exactly. There are tapes here where he's talking about possibly appointing Jackie Kennedy to be the ambassador to Mexico. It's not on this one we're going to hear.
He just wanted to get inside
He even said, quote unquote, those Mexicans will piss all over themselves. He was like a good old boy.
He was a good old boy who liked to get his you-know-what on.
And, there are tapes where he's talking about the Vietnam War and about the assassination. But you listen to this, and keep in mind, what you're going to hear, these were done in December of 93 and January of 94, not more than a couple weeks after her husband's
93, 63.
What did I say?
93.
Yeah.
63.
Just 30 years after her husband's brain was blown off.
Not more than 2 weeks since her husband's brains were blown out right next to her. You would think she would be really grieving heavily, right?
Right.
You would still be in a pretty heavy grief period.
Especially being there
in that situation.
Yeah.
And listen to him. He sounds like he sounds completely like he's hitting on her. We got a couple of. Here's one.
Your picture was gorgeous, and you had to...
He is referring, by the way, he's talking about a picture that he sees of her. Mm-hmm. The picture he's talking about was the famous picture from the funeral where John is saluting.
Right.
And they're standing in line.
Right.
And she's in the black veil.
Right.
And,
the classic,
the classic Kennedy...
Jackie O.
Kennedy funeral picture.
Your picture was gorgeous, and you had that chin up and that chest out, and you looked so pretty when marching in the front page of the New York Daily News today, and I think they had the same picture in Washington. And little John and Carolyn, they're wonderful, too. Have you seen the Daily News, the New York Daily News?
No, but I haven't seen anything today except the post because I just sort of collapsed. But they're all downstairs.
Well, you look at the New York Daily News. I'm looking at it now, and I just sat at my desk and started signing a lot of long things, and I decided I wanted to flirt with you a little bit.
How sweet. And Irene, will you sleep in the White House tonight?
I guess so. I'm afraid to. You don't know.
All three sleep in the same room because it's the worst your first night.
Darling, you know what I said to the Congress? I'd give anything in the world if I wasn't here today.
Well, it's going to be funny because the rooms are all so big. You all get lost. But anyway.
You going to come back and see me?
No.
Oh, man.
Someday I will.
Someday.
I mean, listen, you know,
she's
listen to her.
biting the
She's
hook,
like,
though.
she's like cooing. Oh, Mr. President.
It's like she doesn't want to leave the house.
And listen to this. How creepy is this? Listen.
But anyway.
You going to come back and see me?
You're going to come back and see me.
You going to come back and see me?
Joking about sleeping in her bed?
I don't know. It's like...
Well, it's like he moves in.
A little sigh. How many times have you heard, you know... He's like, yeah, he's putting the hook out there, right?
She's biting the hook.
Sounds like it to me.
Roll the next one.
But if I know that you're going to come back and see me some morning when you bring your kid to school, and first time you do, please come and walk. Let me walk down to the seesaw with you, like old times.
I will, Mr.
Okay, darling. Give Caroline and John a hug for me. Tell them I'd like to be their daddy.
I will.
Oh, my God.
Goodbye.
I'd like to be
I'd
their
like
daddy.
to be their daddy.
It sounds like Dukes of Hazzard.
Where was Lady Bird during these phone
I'd like
calls?
to be.
Right.
I mean, what?
Tell them I'd like to be their daddy.
I'd like to be their daddy.
And
the
I think
president-
He was a good old backwoods Texas boy.
I mean, her husband was murdered. Not more than like 280 hours ago.
She was very giggly.
She sounded like to me. I'd like to be their daddy. What does that mean?
Well, he wants to be with their mommy.
What does that mean?
You have another one?
Well, creepy.
Yeah, I don't like these 10 o'clock night lights still burning over here and these early morning breakfast appointments.
Will you please start to take a nap after lunch?
I'm going to.
It changed Jack's whole life. He was always sick, and when we got to the White House, he did it every day, even if you can't sleep.
I'll start it today. You come down here to see me. If you don't, I'm going to come out there to see you.
Oh, Mr. President.
And I'll just have all those motorcycle cops around your house, and it'll cause you all kinds of trouble.
I can't come down there. I wanted to tell you, I've really gotten hold of myself. You know, I'll do anything for you. I'll talk to you on the phone. I'm so scared I'll start to cry again.
Oh, you never cried? Honey, I never saw anyone as brave as you.
But I mean, it's, you know...
Or as great.
I just can't, Buster.
You know how great we think you are?
Well, you know... So,
sure?
I'll talk to you. I'll do anything I can to you, but don't make me come down there yet.
Well, I've got to see you before long. I've got to see
Anytime you say it's great.
All right.
Thanks.
I'll call you sometime and come back.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.
He's not even listening to what she's saying.
That's exactly it.
He's putting the hard press on.
She's like, oh, you know, if I go there, I'll cry because with the memories. Well, you won't cry. You just come on
won't
down
cry,
here.
baby.
You just get on down here.
I'll start my nap today if you get your butt in my bed with me.
And by the way, you tell John and Caroline.
Tell them I'd like to be their daddy.
Oh, man.
That is
tough.
That is creepy. That is just too... Ugh.
The best of the Morning X
With Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
99
X.